What we're going to be tying today is a Clouser Minnow, originally devised by Bob Clouser. And what it is, it's just bucktail tied on the hook with a weighted eye on top to allow the fly to jig up and down through the water when stripped. And it's used in a lot of different applications, both fresh and salt, and it's a very, very versatile fly. I tied it this past week with the class, and they wanted a video, so I'm using an SC15 size 1. I like this hook for this particular fly because it really gets upside down quick and seems to get the desired action. I'm using a Spirit River reel eye, and we're going to go ahead and tie that in right on top of the hook, leaving about, I like to tie it a little bit ahead of the eye of the point of the hook rather, allowing space in the front because we still have to tie some material on the front of the hook. So we don't want to tie these eyes too close to the eye. Leave about 1/4 of an inch or so, and I like to go around the eye one way, around the eye the other way, and then I like to come around the eye from underneath, really pinching the thread tight against the eye. And at this point here, you can apply a little bit of head cement to the underside of the eyes. Some guys use super glue, just some kind of adhesive or glue to help keep the eyes in place, because they are going to want to roll around on the shank. Once you're happy with that, I'm going to be using white bucktail, and I also love the seafoam green. It's kind of a minty green color that I like to use. And I'm going to be using Mirage Flashabou. And we're going to be tying in the white bucktail first because it's the belly of the bait fish, and it's going to be tied in on top of the shank of the hook, because you got to remember that the fly is going to become inverted in the water, so we want to tie opposite. We're going to tie the white on top and then the colored material on the bottom. So go ahead and get your bucktail, your white bucktail, and you want to tie this in front of the eye, being sure to capture the material there pretty well. While holding the bucktail in your hand, gently pull it over the eye and come from underneath and capture the material gently with a few loose wraps of thread behind the eye, allowing the hair to fall over the eye of the hook, the eyes that you've tied on top rather. And once you're happy with that, go ahead and secure that down. Coming back under the eye to the front of the hook, because we're going to tie in a different colored hair here. What I like to do at this point is, after I've tied in that white bucktail, I'll take about 4 or 5 strands of Mirage Flashabou, and I like to tie it full length of the hook here. I like to get the hair rather. I like to get a lot of flash in there, so I go ahead and divide the flash. Excuse me, and I like to put it right down the middle of the hook here, really laying it on top of that white bucktail. There we go. And I'll even put a loose wrap or two behind the eye again, just kind of hold it in place. Now we're going to take our mint colored bucktail. This is my favorite color for these little flies, and we're going to tie that in right on the underside now. So we're tying on the underside of the shank, and about equal amount of hair that you use for the top. And we're going to go ahead and find our length and tie that right in, right at the eye of the hook again, underneath the eye, the dumbbell eyes, and that looks pretty good. At this point here, I like to take the fly out of the vise. If you have a rotary vise, this is easy. And I like to just divide the hair evenly down the split of the hook there, and then I'll go ahead and put it back in the vise so I can see what I'm doing. It helps hold the hair out of your way. And you can also at this point put a few loose wraps, very loose wraps, behind the eye to kind of hold the hair in place. That looks pretty good. That looks good. There we go. And you can go ahead and finish your fly here. Go ahead and whip finish the fly. What I like to do here is I apply some head cement. And I also like to take some Softex on the tip of a bodkin. I like to run the Softex through the hair. Don't have to use a lot. I like to just stiffen the fly a little bit, right in the midsection before the base bend of the hook. Try to help it from not fouling. What I'll do is I'll put a few drops in there and spread the glue evenly, and kind of just pinch it, push it in there, make sure all the fibers are getting some, and you're good to go. And that there is just a small little Clouser Minnow, and that's it.